Hello everyone, this is Shadow Cosmic here, and today I'm back with another Shadowverse video. Next review. Next review. Here I go. So, today I'll be covering the last class, HavenCraft, and in the next video, which will be the final part of this series, I guess, I'll be covering Neutral. That one will be done slightly differently, but oh well. So, now we'll be going straight into the archetypes. So for the archetypes, I believe there's the biggest number of cards in HavenCraft that are rotating out that I feel that are of significance. There's Storm, Seraph, Alana's Prayer, and lastly Honorable Mentions. So of these four, I think the list for Honorable Mentions is the longest, so I might split it into two parts, but we'll see how it goes. So for Storm is losing a little bit. They are losing Pinion Prayer, Beast Core Aria, Divine Birdsong, Menu, Moon Owl Mirage, and Wing Sentinel Garuda. So we'll start off with the amulets: Pinion Prayer, Beast Core Aria, Divine Birdsong. Pinion Prayer is just a solid turn 1 drop, especially for more aggressive lineup. More aggressive lineups usually go turn 1 Pinion, and then after that they go with the rest of their turn 2, turn 3 plays. And the 2-1 body that it summons really helps with dealing just a little bit more damage, which usually is important to end the game. Beast Core Aria and Divine Birdsong, both are staples in a lot of HavenCraft decks actually. Beast Core Aria is just a turn 2 drop. 3 turns later it gives you a 2-1 and 4-4. Divine Birdsong gives you a 3-4 with Storm. If you time it right, you play Beast Core on 2, you play Divine Birdsong on 3, then you will have all those minions appear on the field on the same turn, and it's a very strong burst turn if you time the amulets correctly. So the fact that these 3 staples are rotating out of the standard means Storm is probably not gonna be a thing in standard anymore. They are giving us Heavenly Knight in the new expansion, which does help, but then again, it's just one card without any other support, I guess, so I guess it'll just be a one-off. Anyway, that's for another video on Chronogenesis. These few cards are rotating out. So Menu is a solid turn 2 drop, especially good because it's resisted. It resists targeted spell effects, so it cannot be destroyed by turn 2 removal, of which there are a lot. I won't name any of them, there are a lot. But yeah, it's just a sticky follower that sticks onto a board, which is what Storm needs, something to play on the board and deal damage. Moon Owl Mirage. Now, I know a lot of people don't run Moon Owl Mirage simply because first it's quite an old card, and secondly for 5 costs you deal 3 Storm damage. It's not like very good, but once again, it's a Storm card. It's in this list because really it's a legendary, and for old time's sake, I know very very old lists from like Darkness Evolved still ran Moon Owl Mirage. So yeah, she's rotating out. She was a cool card. If you put her with Moon, a Guardian Sun, then she became really effective. And lastly, Wing Sentinel Garuda. Now, Wing Sentinel Garuda was great for finishing turns. You play him, he basically destroys 1 amulet for you and deals 3 damage to the enemy face, which means 3 damage plus probably another 3 if you destroy, like say, a Birdsong. So he's very good for finishers, and he's also just very good for developing the board as well, because if you destroy something like Beast Core Aria, you just instantly get a 4-4 and a 2-1. So yeah, he's a great card that's also rotating out, so probably the entire Storm archetype is rotating out from standard rotation. There we go. So next, moving on to the next archetype, we have Seraph. Now Seraph is, well, I'll just name the cards that are rotating out first. We have Sacred Plea, Guardian Sun, Sister Initiate, Healing Prayer, Temple Defender, Prism Priestess, Themis Decree, and Statute Seraph. Now, I'll go through the amulets first. Sacred Plea, as of now, it's not that much of an importance. Firstly, you don't see Seraph being played a lot anymore, because I would put the main factor as because of D-Shift until recently. because D-Shift was running wild for quite a while, especially after Owl came in. It could like finish you on turn 6 or 7, and Seraph is a deck that basically puts no pressure until turn 8, and then after you play Seraph on turn 8 and you try to accelerate it and win by turn 9, but it literally puts no pressure. In a sense, it's a very control deck that has a turn 8 win condition. So because D-Shift was simply faster, turn 7 or turn 6 you could finish your opponent. So yeah, in a sense, Seraph would have been a sure loss against it. So you don't see Seraph being played a lot, and it's kind of sad because now D-Shift is gone, and yet Seraph is going with it. So yeah, I kind of wish that the deck would have stayed in rotation a little bit more, but oh well. What's gotta go, gotta go. So Sacred Plea. Sacred Plea right now it's not that important of a card. It's usually seen it being played in a lot of HavenCraft HavenCraft decks. I should speak slow. A lot of HavenCraft decks, but there's been a replacement in what's it called? Globe of the Stars. I'll put a full picture of it up. Okay, it's Globe of the Starways, I think. And both of them have similar effects, just that Globe of the Starways is slightly more precise. It gives you an amulet, and then it draws you a card. Sacred Plea just draws you 2 cards. So in a way, Globe of the Stars is actually better, because it gives you an amulet, so you can fetch out your Beast Core Arias, your Tribunal of Good and Evil, your March's Hairs, Tea Time. So all key cards which you want to play. So in a sense, Sacred Plea, losing Sacred Plea isn't that important. Guardian Sun, on the other hand, it was a very unique card. Give any follower with 4 health or more that comes into play ward. Used to be run in the old Satan Prince of Darkness deck. That the game plan was play this, get Prince of Darkness and get Servant of Darkness, so you have a 13/13 ward. Yeah, unfortunately the deck's no longer seen, so but it was good times. It's also seen in Seraph simply because they want defensive play, so giving every follower ward is pretty good. Sister Initiate, Healing Prayer, both of them are just acceleration guards. Sister Initiate and Healing Prayer, they're both used to finish off Seraph along with Hallowed Dogma, but Hallowed Dogma isn't rotating out, so that's a good thing. Sister Initiate, you just play it and then it reduces the cost of an amulet by 1. Healing Prayer also reduces the cost of an amulet by 1, and Healing Prayer was also important because against aggro list you could heal yourself, so prevent you from dying. So those 2 cards are just really accelerators that are rotating out, so no big deal. Temple Defender, now this one, it's here not because it was being played a lot, but because it's one of my favorite cards. Reduce the damage this follower takes by 1 from any attack. So basically, if your opponent tried to trade a bunch of fairies into it, it won't take any damage. It was good for warding off aggro, especially if you see like a lot of bats. Bloodcraft, when they try to run their bats into this thing, it won't do anything. So yeah, Temple Defender was one of my favorite cards for warding off aggro back in the day. Prison Priestess, you don't see her being played as much nowadays since you have Globe of the Starways and Haven's draw power isn't bad. But she used to be one of the consistent ways to fish out an amulet. And she's a 3-cost 2/2, which stat-wise isn't the best, but then again, her effect is more important, which is fishing out the amulet. Themis Decree, destroy everything. I don't have to say why this card is good and why this card is run in most lists, especially in the control list. So yeah, Themis Decree is rotating out, so no more board nuking. And Statute Seraph. Now, this was like one of my favorite decks to play back in the day, because it was hard to counter. Your opponent needed to play Odin in order to counter it. Even Bahamut won't stop it, and I felt it wasn't that overpowered simply because it wasn't like D-Shift where it just happens. You know the turn which it drops, and you know there are ways to counter it. So yeah, there we go. So I'm quite sad to see the deck go, but it's going. So see you sometime in the future. Now, next we're moving on to Ilana's Prayer. Now, Ilana's Prayer, again, one of my favorite decks from the Darkness Evolved era. I like a lot of decks in Haven, I don't know why. they are losing Rabbit Healer, Heavenly Hound, Monastatic Holy Water, Radiance Angel, and Ilana's Prayer itself. So basically the entire Ilana archetype is called Shift to Unlimited. Rabbit Healer, a 2-1 that heals you for 2. Just a good card for Ilana's Prayer deck, because if you have Ilana's Prayer on the board, it comes with 3-2. 2 cost 3-2 heal for 2. Not bad. Heavenly Hound, this one's seen in multiple lists. I just dumped it in Ilana's Prayer because I used to run it here. When there's a evolved follow in play, get 2-4, become a 2-4 with Ward. Right now it's extremely strong if you couple it with Princess Snow White, because once Snow White dies, like on turn 2 or something, then after that you can already play the Hound to get his effect off to become a 2-4 without using an Evolve Wall, which is quite a bit of value, and it's good for pushing off aggro. So Heavenly Hound, rotating out. Monastatic Holy Water, an old card that you don't see. I don't think you run much of it anymore, but it's just a good card. Draw a card and heal 2, I believe. So yeah, it's good for cycling in case you brick, and it heals you. And it's cheap, not much you can ask for. Radiance Angel, once again another healing card. Everything in Ilana's Prayer just heals you. 5 cost 2 for heal you, heal your face, draw a card. Even though its stat line may be weak, 5 cost 2-4 isn't the best thing to play for tempo, but of course in Ilana's Prayer, everything that is small can become big, because you just heal and then they get +1/+1 over and over again. So now we move on to the honorable mentions. Now the honorable mentions, it's gotta be quite a bit of a list, but bear with me. We have Hair of Illusions, Death Sentence, Cleric Lancer, Shrine Knight Maiden, Archpriestess Lelia, Holy Sentinel, Kaguya, Skullfane, Jane Diak, and Incandescent Dragon. There are just a lot of cards in Haven. I don't know why. Forgive me, please. Hair of Illusions. It's basically, it summons a 1/2 infinitely. Every 3 turns, it will give you a 1/2 with Ward, and then when the 1/2 dies, it will turn back into an amulet that gives you a 1/2 with Ward. It's a never-ending cycle unless you banish it. I've seen some interesting plays with this card before. Never really I experimented with the card when it was still in the classic set, and it was quite annoying to deal with, because in the classic set there wasn't very good removal for some classes yet. So yeah, I just like the card a lot. Death Sentence, the original removal before Tribunal of Good and Evil. The net result is the same, you destroy 2 followers, but Tribunal is better because it's more targeted. Fanfare, you destroy 1, Last Words, you destroy 1. Death Sentence was more like, I play it, and then next turn you can't play anything, or else it will just get destroyed and you will waste your cards. So in a sense, they both have different purposes, but they were both good cards that were being run back in the day. So yeah, sad to see it go. Cleric Lancer, now this card, I've seen it pop out here and there every once in a while, especially when aggro is very strong. Then I see people play Cleric Lancer. It's simply a 5 cost 1/6. On your opponent's turn, gain 4 attack to become a 5/6 ward. It's really a very defensive card, which is, I think, a very good concept. I hope Side Games makes more of these cards. It's not so good for attacking because it only has 1 attack on your turn, but it's a very strong defensive card. So for a deck like HavenCraft, I think it's a very fitting mechanic, so I hope Side Games makes more of these cards. Next is Shrine Knight Maiden, one of my personal favorite cards actually, because Shrine Knight Maiden, her effects, her fanfare is give everything else on your field. The effect cannot be targeted by spells and effects. So basically, I use back in the old day when D-Shift has been from the classic set, that's all, you know. So when D-Shift first came out, I was like, okay, I'm fed up with getting my amulets bounced back from Kaleidoscopic Glow, so I'm gonna take this card in and I'm gonna fill my board, and then I'm going to play Shrine Knight Maiden down and make my entire board resistant, and then D-Shift couldn't touch me. It was a very fun card to play with, and yeah, back in the day it was just so fun. So Shrine Knight Maiden, that's why she's in honorable mentions. Next is Archpriestess Lelia. Archpriestess Lelia, although personally I didn't play it a lot, I saw a lot of video from Ignidius, another quite big Shadowverse channel. He made quite a few interesting videos of her in the deck, and I think it was seeing the video, it was very fun. Unfortunately, I never went to experiment and play the deck myself. And I heard they are doing a similar concept in the new expansion, where instead of using the follower's attack, use the follower's defense. So I hope to see more of it. And yeah, bye bye to her. She's going to Unlimited too. Next is Holy Sentinel, another honorable mention. Simply because I think it was wonderful for warding off aggro. 2 cost, 5 counter amulet for every enemy follower in play. Reduce the cost of this, reduce the cooldown of the amulet, this amulet by 1, and then when this amulet procs, summons a Guardian Fox, which is a 4/5 ward, and it's pretty good. If your opponent filled up their board very quickly, you could get a ward very quickly and just defend. So yeah, I like the card a lot. I used to tech it in my Haven decks. Kaguya was also one of my favorites. I teched it in when the Aegis era was around. I was playing Aegis, my opponent was playing Aegis. It was just a battle of who could get their Aegis down first. Until Kaguya came in. If you don't know what her effect does, after she's evolved and destroyed, she summons an Ethereal Moon, which changes the attack of the strongest enemy follower to 1 at the end of every turn. So basically, they have a 1/8, 1/10 Aegis that couldn't do anything while I still have my 8/8 Aegis. So yeah, she was a very fun card and I really love her a lot. Unfortunately, she's still getting rotated out. There is the replacement in Mr. Moon, I guess, but Mr. Moon, the stats aren't as good as her, and her amulet lasts for 3 turns. So personally, I like her better, but I guess Mr. Moon's neutral, so... Next are the 2 legendaries, Skullfane and Jane Diak. Both of them really don't see a lot of play, but, well, I guess they're just here because they're legendaries and they deserve a shout out. Jane Diak, deal 2 damage to all enemy followers, give 2 health to everything else. She's getting a new, I guess reprinted, a different form in Chronogenesis, so I'm looking forward to see whether she sees any play. Skullfane, yeah, I've never played him and I think he's quite difficult to pull off, so yeah, we'll just move along. And lastly, Incandescent Dragon. I remember when my, this is pre-nerf actor, the one where he summoned as many zombies as you could. My opponent didn't know what Incandescent Dragon did, and then he just summoned like 4 zombies and then ran them all into my wards. Not knowing Incandescent Dragon reduced their attack by 2 every single time they attack, so instead of getting 4 2 zombies, he only got 2 2 zombies that couldn't kill my ward. So yeah, it was a fun combo to pull off. Very defensive card once again, but very fun. So yeah, those are the honorable mentions for HavenCraft. Whew, quite a long list, wasn't it? So as you can see, quite a few decks for HavenCraft are moving out. Storm is shifting out, Seraph is shifting out, Ilana's Prayer is also shifting out. So I think Aegis is left, and that's about it. So I'm not sure what other decks. They'll probably have to introduce some new decks in the Chronogenesis expansion to pull HavenCraft into a spot, because right now HavenCraft's in a very bad spot. You don't see, I think it's one of the decks with the lowest play rate. So hopefully they give it some good support and some fun mechanics to go with. And yep, that'll be all for this video. If I missed anything or if there's anything more I should have added, please leave a comment down below. I'm very interested to hear your views. And well, see you again next time. Bye bye.